Hi, welcome once again to fourth episode of Shifting Focus, a talk with Sanjay Gupta. I work with DS Group India as VP, and I am responsible for its packaging development and purchase vertical. Here in this show, we invite most influential and thought-provoking business leaders and innovators who speak their mind about today's crisis and way forward. Uh, Today we have a very special guest with us. She is Sharon Barak, live from Tel Aviv, Israel. She is the co-founder and CEO of Solitum Tel Aviv, Israel, who has created a sensation by developing a bioplastic, an alternative to plastic, which can be dissolved in water to save our ecosystem. She's a chemical engineer and MBA from Tel Aviv University, Israel. As I know, she was involved in various projects of R&D, material science, nanotechnology, product management, product cycle, pyrotechnics, and other technical and management subjects also. Under her mentorship, Solitum has been awarded as one of the most promising startup from Tel Aviv University, and if I'm not wrong, she has been awarded the first prize as a Mass Challenge 2018, which has been which normally given to startups who leave a great impact on global platform. So I once again welcome Sharon on this show. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so I will start with my first topic. This is now it is very clear. It is mankind against nature. Message from this pandemic.
Yeah.
Though plastic has various and numerous advantages in packaging and building our ecosystem, but at the same time, plastic has become one of the worst pollutant problems in the world. If we go through the data released by WHO on global landscape, plastic accounts for about 10% of all of our waste we generate. Even the world uses up to 500 billion plastic bags. At least 8 million tons of plastic the equivalent of a garbage couple of every minute. In the last decade, we produced more plastic than in the whole of the last century. And 50% of the plastic we use is a single use or a disposable. So my point is that we are dumping plastic each and everywhere, and we are not managing the plastic waste management as we should do. So, can you describe something about your invention as a bioplastic, which is termed as one of the greatest invention of the 21st century, and how your company Solutum may become one of the best partners of the world to improve our ecosystem? And my most important question, is this solution commercially viable? How will you build up production capabilities, maintain supply chain efficiency, do the technology transfer? So how things will happen? Is it of academic interest, or finally we will land up in successfully implementing it commercially across all over?
Okay, one by one. So first of all, mankind against nature. Plastic has many advantages. It can even prolong shelf life of food. And if we compare it to other industries like paper, for example, when you're looking at the whole life cycle analysis, plastic is being produced in a very low temperature. If you compare it to paper, for example, plastic is about 200 Celsius degrees. Paper is about 900, 800 Celsius degrees. So the energy that that you need to in order to produce plastic is much lower, and all others. But as we said, the end of life of plastic is a disaster. Half of the production of plastic today goes to single-use products. And this is the problem. Because if we are only using it for a short time, and then we throw it away, and then we can see it in landfill, in the oceans, we have plastic islands, and this is the real problem. We can see more and more regulations all over the world. A lot of regulations that are trying to deal with this problem. But then comes the pandemic, and we can see that although we had many steps forward, and we can see the regulations, once you have such a crisis, all of this just goes away, and people goes back and using single-use items, and plastic is all over again. And I even heard that, the single masks, there are more single masks than jellyfish in the ocean. I'm not sure if it's correct, but definitely there are a lot. And this is why we think that the solution should also come from technology. I'm very forward to educating. It is my, I believe in it. I don't use any single use. I have a small baby. I only use reusable diapers even. But unfortunately, not unfortunately, we cannot educate everyone. And because it's so comfortable to use single-use products, we need to find a solution that won't harm the environment. And this is what Solutum is focusing on. We are focusing on the end-of-life problem. We are developing products that takes the advantage of plastic and the easiness of use and production. But at the end of life, those materials will biodegrade in nature, meaning that once you throw it away, once you finish using it, and it will get to its end, if it will end up in the ocean, it will dissolve, and after it will dissolve, it will biodegrade. So you won't get all those plastic islands. If it will be in landfill, you can recycle it. So we are really focusing on this matter. So yes, I think that biodegradable materials, which if they also can be recycled, is the answer to this problem today. And this is what we're focusing on. If it's commercial, now we're working on scaling up. We are working with all kinds of companies all over the world, also hopefully with India, which is very important to us, which India are doing a lot of efforts and in order to solve this problem. So we are now developing specific products for specific companies. And those products we are going to add to our scaling up process. So hopefully by next year, you will see not directly our materials, because we are going to work with those companies, but you can see those companies' solutions in the market.
Okay. Would you be manufacturing at your end, or you would be doing technology transfer to all other countries so that they can develop at their own with your help, and supply chain would become more efficient?
Yes, very good question, and interesting one, which we are debating a lot. Not debating. First, we are going to manufacture it here in Israel, because we are still in the R&D process. Although we are scaling up, scaling up is still a process from the R&D. Once we will finish this and we will produce first quantities in Israel, we're going to multiply this process technology, the technology and the production process, and we can do it all over the world in all kinds of different factories.
We expect, but do you feel that kind of quantum of plastic required for the packaging industry across the world? Would you be able to scale up or ramp up your production or technology transfer to that scale? And what is the time frame you are looking forward for this?
Yes, one of the reasons we are working with companies is the fact that they can help us with scaling up. We are now working, for example, on a specific secondary packaging. This secondary packaging we're doing with a company that already has all the facilities, and they have all the knowledge of how to help us with scaling up for this specific product. So once we're working with these kinds of companies and they have the facilities, it is much easier for us to do this, the R&D and the production itself. And we want to do the same with other products as well. So once we finish the first development in our lab, we have our lab with a lot of equipment, and we know how to do tens to hundreds of kg of plastic. But once we want to go to tons and to finalize the product specifically, that stage we're doing with the companies, with the clients.
Very nice. And connecting the dots, if you say GDP of the world is shrinking post this pandemic, means people have less money with them. Business models are changing, or they are bound to change pre and post pandemic. So, what is about the commercial of these developments, pricing of this your offerings? So, how the consumer will have to pay some additional money for this development, or it will be at par with the existing packaging material?
Okay, we are not selling it directly to customers. We are not selling it B2C. We are a company that B2B. So it's a complicated answer. Our material are more expensive than the common plastic, the polyethylene or the polypropylene or other basic polymers that we know. So it's more expensive than that, up to 2 to 3 times more expensive. However, there are solutions today in the market. There are all kinds of different polymers that are biodegradable, such as PLA, PHA, and all kind of other PP, not specifically PP. And our product is much cheaper than those materials. So if I need to compare it, it is somewhere in the middle between the regular non-plastic polymers and the biodegradable polymers. But, however, although it's more expensive than plastic, because our material has other properties as well, density, mechanical properties, and barriers, gas barriers and oil barriers, once you're doing the end product, the film itself, the film might be even cheaper because of the amount of material you need to use or the properties it gives to your product. So then the price might even be reduced. So I don't know exactly how to compare the end price of the end product, only the raw material, which is not the final comparison. So I'm not sure how the clients, the customers are going to pay for it, because they are just, buying the product in the stores. But this is something that the companies, I'm sure, will see how to maximize the beneficials of the raw material with that.
Thank you so much. And I also believe that economy of scale from economics point of view will also help in maintaining the sound pricing for this product category.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
Scale up the production, so economy of scale might help in reducing the pricing, because then when there is more demand, more people will produce it, output will be more, efficiency will be better. So might be it helps in maintaining the sound pricing.
Exactly. We can see that when the demand is higher, actually the price of the polymers is getting lower, which I know that might sound different logically, but in reality, the demands really help with getting a lower price for the raw materials, and also when we are using more quantities, of course, the price dramatically reduce. So yes.
Okay, nice. So if we summarize, it seems to be a very good commercial, viable, technical solution for today's problem of ecosystem, improving our God-gifted, beautiful planet?
Yes, thank you. We're working on it. Because all of our technical team, most of the technical team, not all of them, are coming from the industry. And we know all about, we need to maintain commodity. And we know that scaling up is very important. We, in the development process, are always looking at scaling up. We won't use materials that we think will be problematically after it. We are looking, when we are doing the production, we are doing it on the same machines, but in a very small scale as they're going to be in the large scales. So we are thinking about the development and the end product from the beginning when we are doing the first initial formula.
Okay. So, yes. Now I'm going to a second topic. As we see Israel with over 600 companies and startups in clean tech, and I think Solutum also a clean tech startup. Clean tech is a process, product or service that reduces negative environmental impact. Israel ranked 6th in 2017 Global Clean Tech Innovation Index. Means you people are very innovative and creative and responsible for the environment. How you people help the world to deal with different concepts related to environmental challenges such as resource conservation, resource management, reduction of carbon footprint, and sustainability. Apart from what your company has developed specifically in areas of packaging, in other areas of water conservation, water recycling, energy, renewable energy. So, as a country, and India and Israel have a lot of bilateral ties and treaties. So, how you expect and how you people can help the world?
Yeah, well, we see, I have other friends here in Israel also that have other startups dealing with this environmental issue. Although you can see us ourselves as a competition, we actually work together in many topics. The problem is so big, and you can attack it and find solutions for all kinds of angles. And for Israel, yes, we have a lot of innovation here in Israel, but we are a very small country. So the opportunity to work with India, I think it's such a great opportunity, for both. Israel can bring our own angle. I'm not saying that there is not a lot of innovation in India, a lot, but we have our angle. And definitely if we're speaking about scaling up, India is a great place to do the scaling up. There, you have a lot of, the problem is very important, and there in India there is a lot of attempt to solve it. So we are looking at it all kinds of angles. If we spoke about how we can find solutions, we not only look at carbon footprint. I know it's a very popular thing to look at, but we are looking at the whole life cycle analysis, the energy that you need to for the production, what remains from the product, the whole productions, the facilities, how you transfer the materials, which can also be very good if you can. I mean, in India, you have the opportunity to have the raw material, the production facilities, and the end clients all in the same place, as opposed to, go to Israel, go back, take it. So all in all, this is how we see how we can help, how we are involving, and how we are developing.
So means there may be a consumption on one side, manufacturing facility on one side, availability of manpower, raw material one side, and technology know-how on other side. If both sides come together, I think then definitely future seems very, very bright.
I agree. Exactly.
Okay. Now I'm again coming to the related question. Science and technology in Israel is one of the country's most developed sector. And as per data which I have, Israel spends 4.3% of its GDP on civil research and development. which seems the highest ratio in the world. In 2019, Israel was ranked the world's fifth most innovative country. And there had been recently, I think in 2019 or 2018, there had been a joint declaration between the Ministry of Science and Technology of the India and Ministry of Science, Technology and Space of the State of Israel on cooperation in the field of science and technology. So I am again coming on the science and technology part, which may be a very strong area of Israel, and the number of scientists which you people have per capita is also, I think, very, very large. So how sharing of technology in the fields of fintech or artificial intelligence, deep machine learning, robotics process automation, data analytics, cybersecurity to be done to improve society at large? Because I think all things are very, very important nowadays. So how you people feel on these areas sitting in Israel? Now we are not, both of us are not too far. There is a direct flight from India to Tel Aviv, Delhi to Tel Aviv also. So distances are coming closer, relationships are better. You have a lot of technology. You spend a lot on technology investments. So what do you feel?
I am definitely not an expert in cybersecurity or other technologies. As I'm from Tel Aviv, Tel Aviv has I have many friends that work in those kinds of startups.
I had been with R&D on in many areas. So I'm talking in general, basically. Just leave apart the cybersecurity is one of the very important part which Israel does. But let us, we can talk on other areas which I've spoken about.
So I think one thing is special in Israel, because we are so small, and almost everybody here goes to the army. I guess it's very easy for us if you need some kind of specialist in one area. For example, if I'm looking at Socio, my company, when I looked for specialist people to work, so there are many specialists here in Israel, as in all over the world. But our advantage is that in one phone call, I can connect to them, and if I don't know them, I definitely will have a friend that knows them. So our network here in Israel is so tight. So I guess this is something that allows us, to be the startup nation, because of maybe our ecosystem. So I'm not sure if that answered the topic, but this is one of the things that we take advantage of, getting to know everyone so closely.
But I think it's a very important insight from you that accessibility of a specialist in Israel is very, very fast.
Yes.
So it means if we identify the problem, write it down, then we can complete the loop very quickly.
Yes, I agree. Once you have the initial idea and initial POC, to go to the next step, it's rather easy here, because you will get the specialist here in Israel. Maybe there are more specialists in the world, but for the first step, they are better even than good enough. And then once we will scale up, and then, as you said, going to India is very easy today, then we will be ready enough to do all this collaboration.
And my last question, are you still hopeful and optimistic post this pandemic? There is a lot of panic in the industry all over. What will happen, how the industry will behave, all business models are changing, what will be going with the GDP consumption pattern. So are you still hopeful and optimistic, or you are pessimistic? And what is your message as of now to the packaging fraternity or the industry?
I am very hopeful and very optimistic. Gladly, the companies, tier one companies all over the world are still applying to us. We are still in contact. They're all very committed to find a solution. The pandemic was for a few months, and they're all looking ahead. They're all looking to 2025, 2030, and they're all committed to have a solution by then. So maybe even if there was a slow, if there was if we went a little bit back, I still see as everyone are looking straight to the future. And now more than ever, I think people understand that we do really need a technology solution, not only regulation. And I'm very, very optimistic. I must be. I want to have a cleaner world, and I'm working very hard for it. But we see the technology works, and there is a lot of interest from the industry all over the world. A lot from India, but all over the world. So yeah, very optimistic.
Oh, thank you so much for your optimistic view. And that is what I want to spread across the globe, that all the industry leaders are optimistic and hopeful. So all other people also should be. And as I've already told, your voice is critical to the industry. And I once again thank you so much, and namaste from India, and wishing you all the best for your future endeavors, projects, and keep on helping the industry and most importantly, our ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for helping me to spread the word. Thank you very much.